Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Nicholas Malson, and welcome back to my podcast where you and I will hopefully smile once again. If this is your first time listening to this podcast, welcome, and I hope you will enjoy your stay. If you are a returning listener, welcome back, and I hope you will enjoy yet another episode of my podcast. Just to remind you all, the purpose of this podcast is to either talk about some nice and positive things that have happened recently, or just trying to focus on optimistic things whilst not ignoring the pessimistic ones. But again, positive things are the main focus here. And I in no way or circumstances ignore the pessimistic things. So, once again, I would like to thank Anchor.fm for helping me distributing this podcast to multiple platforms such as Spotify, Pocket Cast, Google Podcast, Breaker, and Radio Public. I would like to apologize because the Radio Public link was broken, so I just had to reset it. And it now should be fine, so you should be able to access Radio Public's link and listen to the podcast there if you want to. But yeah, Anchor.fm helps me out with distributing the podcast with ease. And I do think that this is a good service. I'm not sponsored by them, but I think they are worth a shot should you have anything to say. One thing, however, is that my podcast is also available on YouTube. The channel's name is Smile Once Again Podcast with the same logo you may have already seen before. However, keep in mind that I publish the episodes there manually. If you want to communicate with me, YouTube is the best place to go. Either leave a comment on any of the videos. If you want the comment to be read out in the next episode, or leave me an email. My address is smileonceagainpodcast@gmail.com. That's smileonceagainpodcast@gmail.com. All lowercase, no special characters apart from the @sign, and that should be all good if you want a more anonymous conversation. Yes, that's pretty much what I meant to say. I hope you will enjoy this episode, and let's get to it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, by the time I'm recording this, it is 10 past 11 a.m. of the Sunday morning. It's the 16th of January 2022, so we're already halfway through the first month of the year 2022, which is really strange to talk about, but as always, time is flying very fast. The older you become, the faster the time flies, so they say. Actually, this phrase originally came from my dad, who has told me about this concept, and the older I become, the more I realize how right he actually was, and still is. But yeah, let's make this day count. Just another week going by. Let's get ready for the next week. Let's get boosted up with some optimism and positive energy. Getting slowly used to this word positive. I think I'm starting to not dislike it as much as I used to before. I don't know. It's just originally I thought it just sounded a little bit too cliche, maybe, or something like that. I don't know. But I think the more I hear this word, the more adapted I become to it. Usually I would say optimistic or, good-spirited or something like that. But it's alright, the mystery of the language, I guess. So, I'm not expecting to have a long episode recorded for you, gentlemen and ladies, today. Mainly because there's lots of things that are going to happen in the future. So I would like to dedicate this episode by, of course, talking about a couple of things. So it's not going to be just a simple filler episode. No, it's not going to be an update episode. It's going to be just a standard episode, but with a couple of announcements that I want to make. So just all of you would be ready for what is about to come. So first things first. There will be some interesting episodes coming along the way. At least I hope so. There's been some interest from some people, or I've got some interest to invite some people to this podcast, and hopefully this will all go well. So it will be mostly my friends, and maybe there will be a person who I am not acquainted with, and I hope this will turn out well. So it'll be a friend of a friend kind of a thing, you know? So it's going to be an interesting experience, I think. Let's just see how this turns out. You will also be hearing someone that you may have already heard of before. It's going to come in very soon, the episode as is. So I hope you will stay tuned for this one. So yeah, expect the next couple of episodes to be a bit more eventful, because I'm definitely not going to be on my own. At least one can only hope. Yes, that's the first plan that I have got in mind. Secondly is I am thinking about making this podcast even more interactive. There may be a potential that I figure out a way how to properly do the live episodes of this podcast. So everything will be live. You will be able to ask any questions, during this live session, and we can just have a nice talk or just focus about something optimistic. You can be telling your own stories, and we can have simply a decent conversation. So hopefully, by the time you're hearing this, you will be interested. And when this happens, I will let you know in advance, maybe like a week or so that everyone will be made aware what is happening, where is it happening, and stuff like that. I'm expecting the best platform to do this would be YouTube, although there may have been talks about doing this on Twitch as well, although I'm not entirely sure how Twitch is going to work, and if my internet connection will be decent enough for Twitch, because I think Twitch is very very requiring with regards to internet consumption and all that stuff. I actually have tried streaming a long time ago. I just wanted to see how this will work. I've tried streaming the playthrough of, I think it was Diablo 3. Yeah, that was the thing. Back in the day. It didn't work out that well, because it just turns out that the stream was just simply a slideshow. It looked really, really bad, and I was like, yeah, definitely not my kind of thing. So maybe it has improved. Also the fact that my internet provider is a bit better now. It's not the best, because there are places in the world, such as my home country, for example, which is considered to be on the top 10 list of the fastest internet providers in the world. Like some of my friends, I kid you not, they have the internet speed of 1 Gbps. So we're not talking about the Mbps anymore. We're talking about the Gbps. Like at least 1 Gbps. Can you just imagine that for a second? It's insane. Like my home country can provide this. I'm so proud of it. Like honestly, I am. And it's also pretty affordable as well. So, depending on how you look at it, but it is a pretty cool thing to see. I think. Hopefully, I will be able to gain access to this kind of speed myself, because I think this is going to help me out significantly in the future. But one can only hope, So yeah, live streaming may become a thing for the podcast. So if you're interested, that's fantastic. Keep an eye on this podcast and keep an ear as well. But YouTube is going to be the place to go should you want to participate. We'll just have to see how this is going to work out. I think this is how it's gonna work out. So stay tuned for new episodes. I'm pretty certain they're going to be exciting. And stay tuned for future announcements regarding the live stream. So let's see how this is going to work out. Okay. Before we continue, I would like to wish all of the Russians a happy belated Old New Year. I myself, don't really celebrate that much. This particular holiday, but I know how exciting this particular holiday is. The reason why it's called Old New Year, to those who don't know, is because at some point, the Russians, they were, living life on a different calendar. I forgot if it was either a Julian or a Georgian. I forgot the name of the calendar. But eventually what has happened is that at some point, either last century or the century before the last, the Russian Empire or the USSR have decided to go along with the rest of the world. And eventually, this has caused a switch in, the calendar, I guess. So to everyone, the New Year celebration will be on the 1st of January, and the 31st of December is a New Year's Eve. Of course, apart from, I believe, China, who are celebrating New Year in February, I think. So everyone would be, apart from China, would be celebrating it on the 31st and 1st, 31st of December and 1st of January, whilst the Russians would, technically celebrate it on the 13th to the 14th of January. But the thing is that the Russians, they love celebrating, and they love celebrating it really, really well. And I'm saying this in a good way because I love the way the Russians celebrating the holidays. So they celebrate both the official New Year, which is 31st of December to 1st of January, and the 13th to the 14th of January. So they have two New Year celebrations, basically. And we also have Orthodox Christmas on the 7th of January, which, by the way, happy belated as well. I don't think the Russians actually celebrate the 25th of December Christmas. So they don't celebrate the Catholic one, but they celebrate the Orthodox one. That I remember for sure. But my family, because, we live... we are originally from the Baltic region. Well, my parents are, Russians, but they moved to the Baltic region a long time ago. We celebrate both Christmases and both New Years. So we technically have the holidays, which are, we have a much longer holiday season. Although, we of course do kind of work on the, on that period where the Orthodox Christmas and Old New Year is. Well, especially myself, because in the UK, it's not a thing. So, that's fine. Unless, if I want to book a, day off or something like that, hopefully if it will be possible, then it will be done. But I would rather not do that because I don't really celebrate this particular holiday myself. Maybe this will change in the future, who knows? But it's always nice to just, celebrate Christmas and New Year twice, I guess. So yeah, happy belated Old New Year. Let's hope this year will go with a blast. And so far, it's actually been a really good year. Obviously, it's been only 16 days, but it's been a really good start, at least from my perspective. Work is going really well. I'm following my resolutions so far. I still keep myself in check. Again, only 16 days, but I'm already impressed with how it started. So let's just keep the momentum going. I am actually having some progress in some things that I was planning to do. I mean, I think next month is going to be really crazy. Like I'm gonna start, learning about some things about the country itself, so I could prepare for um, the citizenship stuff. So this is going according to plan, and I really like it. And also, my dating life is actually getting somewhere, which is good. Just been talking to more people, and I actually had a really decent conversation yesterday with someone. Just been chatting all day. Of course, there were gaps and such. We were chatting, and the messages were really good. It wasn't just one message, sorry, one word. Like, how are you? And the response is like, okay. And you just ask, what are you up to? And then they would answer stuff. And you just think, well, this conversation isn't going anywhere. But no, this one was actually really good, and hopefully something will come out of it, and it can be anything really. So I'm quite excited about it. And but next month, I'm gonna visit something that I've never visited before. Have you ever heard of speed dating? It's a really interesting idea. I'm surprised that it's actually happening. I've only seen this if you know the show called Blue Collar, with the one with what was his name, Matt Balmer. Yes. Oh man, that was a great show. But if you don't know, it's basically the con man who has been convicted. He has escaped the prison, but then he got caught, and he basically made a deal with the FBI, because he wanted freedom, that if he helps FBI solving con crimes, or blue collar crimes or something like that, then that he will be earning his freedom this way. But he's on the curfew and all that stuff. And there was this episode where the speed dating was involved. So the idea is that the ladies are seated on the on the tables, at the table, sorry, and the gents would come in, and you would have 4 minutes or around that time to basically talk to each other and figure out whether there's been a click or not. And if you feel like you want to spend more time with this person, you keep a record of this person, and if the person has mutual feelings towards you, then you kind of match, in the apps or something, and then you basically connect to each other again and see what happens. And apparently this kind of thing helps out a lot of people to find their second half. And I would really like to give it a shot, because I haven't been in a relationship for a very long time. And my first relationship was cut really short because person just ghosted me for, well, I know what reasons, and it was quite unfortunate, and I really thought there could be a second chance of just get this sorted out, but it didn't work out. But yeah, I think this will be my return to this. I feel like I have finally let my first one go, and of course it took a very long time. But I think it's just because after that relationship, I was struggling to find someone who would help make me feel the same way as the first one did. But it's okay, it's how life goes. So, from my perspective, what comes out of it is, if you love someone, you have to let them go, and that's what I did. So, if you are dealing with the same issue, if you love that person, let them go, and move on, and try to basically get out of your comfort zone. I think I've heard someone, a random person on the internet, talking about this, and basically the best way to fight loneliness is breaking out of the comfort zone and just talk to people. Just talk to people as much as you can. Even by saying hello can get you somewhere. And if the person you're talking to is, socializing and an outgoing person, they will tell you, they will start talking to you. Even the "how are you" actually, such a question as "how are you" can get you somewhere really nice. Like to as far as possible. But what you have to do as well is you need to talk, like you need to speak to a person. Like, you don't have to, hide yourself. Be open minded, be like an open book. Of course, don't talk about things that you don't really want to talk about, but, at least just, speak. Let me think of an example. So if someone asks you, like, how are you? What would you normally say? Normally you would say, yeah, I'm okay. How are you? Or something like that. Or you just say, yeah, I'm okay. That's probably the worst answer to say, right? Because you don't give the opportunity for the other person to, talk back, You can say, like, well, yes, I'm doing well, just, have the event A happening. I'm also going to the place B. I've seen a person named C. Yeah, just been a really good time. What about yourself? And then, you just give the opportunity for someone to talk about something, and yeah, that way kind of works. So the more open you are, the more chances you give to the person to actually talk to you. And the thing is, it's not just about, like, this advice is not just towards, men or women or anyone in between. It's basically, it's to everyone, because the conversation is connecting two or more people. If you want to talk to no one, that's the monologue. I think that's what I'm doing right now. Well, I mean, technically, I'm speaking to you, ladies and gentlemen, and once again, thank you so much for listening. It's a great pleasure. Unfortunately, I'm not talking to you directly. I'm talking to you via recording, so, and you can listen through this recording multiple times if you want to. And again, I would really appreciate that, So, if you're actually conversing with a live person, you have to keep the conversation going. Keep talking, keep, no, of course, keep listening. Sometimes you have to remind yourself of the talk once, listen twice rule, and especially if you like listening to people, but you have to let them talk about something. You have to give them the ideas of what to talk about. And although, depending on which person you're talking to, if they have like a really good eye, they can just like pay attention to your details of yourself, and they can just mention it, and then you can just like join in and see where this goes. So yeah, keep the conversation going, start talking, and even the simple "hello, how are you doing" should definitely get you at least somewhere. Try to find someone who's ready for a chat, and then go with it. I think this is the best thing I've learned from this. And I should have taken this approach on New Year's Eve, but the thing is, I was just enjoying the live show. My god, the bands were crazy. I've already mentioned this in the last episode, but yeah, feel free to listen to it for more details. But yeah, that's pretty much all I can say. So yeah, I am actually having fun with this dating thing. And I'm glad to see that it's getting somewhere. And I hope at some point that I will find someone. Because I think most of you can agree, everyone deserves a chance for love. And I hope that if you are struggling with finding someone, or finding a reason to find someone, then I do hope that you will find a reason. And I hope you will find someone. Because as far as I remember, love is a very, very nice thing to experience. And of course, it's all chemistry, and skeptics can say whatever they want. And even though I consider myself to be a skeptic myself, excuse me, then, you know, sometimes I just want this skepticism to fade away and just enjoy the vibes and just feel the optimism and positivity. Because, skepticism is good, but it's what is better than skepticism is know where to use it. Because being skeptic all the time is just not a nice way of living. It's just too dark. And I think this year will be the year of the light. I don't want to stay in the darkness so long anymore. Okay, apologies if I have been sounding a bit weird, as if I was talking through my nose, because turns out that my nose was starting to get a little bit stuffy, and it didn't feel nice. But hopefully I didn't speak like that for a very long time, because it's just been starting to happen like a few minutes ago as I'm recording this. But yeah, to be fair, I think it's a really good moment to wrap it up, because just another episode is coming to an end, I guess, and I expect it to be a bit of a shorter episode, but here we are. Before we end, though, I have been doing things a little bit differently today. Usually when I record the podcast, I've got my headphones in, so I decided to take them off, and I'm not sure. I think I sound a bit more lively when I record without my headphones on. I don't know why, but it just is what it is. We just have to see what happens. Let me know how this episode was like with regards to sound and the way I spoke. Was it a bit clearer? Was it better? Was it worse? Please let me know. But yeah, I do hope that this episode was as entertaining as the others, or even more entertaining. If it's more entertaining, then that's even better. Yeah, another episode is coming to an end. I would like to once again thank you all for listening to my podcast. It's always appreciated. I hope you will have learned something from it, and if you didn't, at least I hope you have been entertained. So, I wish you all a fantastic rest of your Sunday. I wish you also the great week coming ahead. I also wish you all the best in general. I hope you are smiling once again. And I do hope that you will be smiling for a very long time. And keep and stay tuned, actually. Stay tuned for more episodes to come. I'm very excited about what's coming next, and I hope you too. And keep an eye on YouTube should you want to participate in the potential live sessions. With that being said, my name is Nicholas Malson, and remember, keep smiling, and even though the world is a cruel and unjust place, we can always enjoy sunsets. Have a fantastic day, and I'll speak to you next Sunday. Goodbye.